Welcome back to the Dodge Dealers 400. We are at Dover, Delaware. Dover International Speedway under caution for the first time today, coming out on lap number 12 when Johnny Sauter had some contact with the wall. Now, we talk about air so much and how it can impact a car. If you want to see how the 11 car got the lead, watch this.
Take a look at Denny Hamlin getting on the rear bumper of the Jimmy Johnson. Just packs that air up in his back of his car, shoots Jimmy up the racetrack. Denny gets throttled, gets in that clean air, and takes back off. Perfect explanation of how you can get aero loose. Just getting all that air packed up under the back of that fuel cell, making that 48 loose.
Is that a little strategy that you use as a driver to say, okay, I've got a little better car and I need to move him out of the way?
Oh, every time, Andy. I always want to get in there and try to loosen a guy up just by making him aero loose. It always works every time.
Under this caution, 18th on back pitted, including this car, Tony Stewart, among others that were on pit road. And there were some issues here. Watch the 20 and the 15 leaving here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think really why Tony's mad at the 15 car Paul Menard right now. Menard beat him out. Pretty fair and square. And he's hitting him again right now. Bam, another time. Hey, don't you know, these guys are getting frustrated. The chase for the championship is already starting to heat up right now. Hey, Tony's not done with him right yet. Let's get in here and, oh my gosh, give him another whack right there.
Oh.
Now, why he would tear his own car up, I have no idea.
Alan?
You know, we talked about the tight confines down here on pit road, guys, and Paul Menard is pitted in the spot in front of Tony Stewart. Well, Paul, trying to be cautious and not run over a couple of his crew guys, didn't pull all the way up in his pit box, so Tony, who came in ahead of Paul, had to back up and go around him, and that's when you saw Menard pull out of his pit box and jump out in front of Tony. So Tony was a little upset that he had to stop and back up when he should have been ahead of, you know, how all that works, Rusty, right?
Yeah, well, Alan, the thing I'm concerned about with Tony right now, I mean, I understand the emotions and everything, but he took a swipe, you know, at the 15 car. Now I see the right front damage on the 15, and you know, they could tear both their cars up doing stuff like that this early.
Let's listen in to Tony Stewart's radio.
The idiot, the 15 car can't pull up to the front of the box. There was nobody even over there. Right after he got done telling us he was going to work with us.
Tony Stewart, little communications here. For more information on pit road safety and communications, log on to ESPN.com. Search word safety.
That's what this pit road will do. It'll just bring out those, you know, tempers and emotions down there because there's so little room down, you know, on pit road.
No, emotions are going to go sky high. You want to get mad, you get on this pit road. That'll make you mad. I've been stuck in this thing 4 or 5 times, leading the race and come out in the top 5 because can't get out of the pits.
By the way, you A.J. Allmendinger fans, he's had an engine problem. He has taken his car to the garage area. Tough break for A.J., who had his best qualifying effort of the year here on Friday, where he was starting in 11th spot. Back to green as Denny Hamlin leads him down. Jimmy Johnson may be trying to repay the little aero loose favor he got from Denny Hamlin.
Oh, man, you took the words out of my mouth, Jerry. It's exactly what I was thinking. If Jimmy can get his nose right to the back of Hamlin, he'll get him aero loose, run him off the racetrack, and Jimmy can take the lead again.
He's going to have to pick it up a little bit, though. Hamlin's got a pretty good car. Pulled out on him just a few car lengths.
And last night in practice, Hamlin's car looked awful strong. Another car right at the bottom of the track looked really good out there.
Yeah, Denny says, you got to catch me first.
It's like he took off right where he left off yesterday.
You know, in yesterday's Busch Series race, nobody could catch Denny Hamlin. He had this track figured out.
How good is that 17 car of Matt Kenseth?
Well, that's a good-looking car right now. And one thing I do like about that, remember that black and yellow Miller Genuine draft car I used to drive? That car right there reminds me of it. The same color, good-looking car. Miss those days, man.
I remember you were driving like that up here at Dover, just sailing by people. Now the battle behind him for another car you used to drive, the 2 car. Kurt Busch, 4 beneath the 1 of Martin Truex, and that is for 4th spot.
Now this Martin. Now you're talking about Kurt Busch. He broke a throttle shaft last week in a carburetor, relegated him back to 22nd place, and he's trying to make up for it today. Dave, you got more?
Yeah, first report for Kurt. He's not very happy, and we got trouble on the track, guys.
Oh, crash here. Kenny Schrader, a former winner here at Dover, involved in an incident here, bringing out caution for the 2nd time.
He's got a cut left rear tire right there. Looks like maybe somebody got into the left rear, cut that tire and spun Kenny out.
Yeah, the left rear quarter panel is really caved in. You saw the bar in the back. Although that car doesn't look like they can't not get it back on the track. I think they can fix it and get it back out there.
Yeah, they can fix that car, put some tires on it, maybe pull some of that sheet metal away.
And that's another thing about these car tomorrows. They're so tough, it's incredible. We saw some of the things. Let's take a look at this replay, guys.
Hard to tell right there whether he had any help.
41 car was behind him. We're not saying it was contact, but let's look again. Let's see right there, the 41 of Sorensen was behind him. Good job by Tony Stewart, Paul Menard to miss the 21.
Doesn't take much to get one turned around sideways. Just a little contact. Yeah, you see the contact right there from Reed Sorensen.
Easy. Coming back up. Attaboy.
Hey, guys,
that's a little bit, guys.
Guys, that's a problem coming off of turn 4. You see Reed Sorensen looks like he might have lost the front end of his car, got up and got Kenny Schrader in the left rear quarter panel and started this whole melee. But that turn 4 is Calamity Corner down there right now, and we're going to have to keep our eye on that thing all day long.
Looks like Jeff Burton's got just a little bit of damage on his rear bumper. Shouldn't cause him any trouble as long as it doesn't come loose and maybe get black flag.
Paint scheme on this 21 car. This is the 60th anniversary of the United States Air Force. They had a big celebration at Dover Air Force Base earlier in the week, and Kenny Schrader and all the crew were there. Not the way they wanted to begin the race today at Dover, Delaware. Caution number 2, back with the green in just a moment. Back at Dover, Delaware, getting set for the restart. By the way, you Johnny Sauter fans, Johnny has been treated and released from the infield care center. He's okay. The car pretty heavily damaged. And Denny Hamlin leads him down, but watch out for that 17 car of Kenseth, who is in a hurry to get there.
They're all trying to take advantage of these restarts on these cooler tires. Just get it done when they can get it done. You saw Kenseth peek his nose out there a little bit. But hey, look at the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. This guy has come from 21st all the way up to 10th, and now he's working over Juan Montoya.
Earnhardt Jr., a former winner here, won this race back in 2001. Not in the chase, so really no pressure. Just said I wanted to be able to take this team and go out and have some wins for the entire organization for DEI and some of the guys that are going to be here in 2008.
Matt Kenseth is in the 2nd place right now, just getting past Jimmy Johnson there. He's getting some clean air right now. Denny Hamlin's ahead of him pretty far, so let's see what the lap times are going to be now. See if Kenseth can run him down. And Kurt Busch, take a look at Kurt Busch. He's got a good car today too, guys. Working the bottom of the track there. Good looking car.
He's coming up through there, and these 2 cars here, if they can get clear and clear traffic, they might be able to run down that 11. We'll see what he's got.
Remember, Kurt Busch had the engine issues a week ago at New Hampshire, finished 25th, moved him all the way down to the bottom rung, 12th in the chase, trying to make up for it here with a good run at Dover.
I was talking to Pat Tryson. He said they kept trying some different things to try to fix that car last week. They couldn't quite figure it out, and the carburetor was the next thing on their list, but they just ran out of time. Didn't get another caution to fix it. Looks like they've got it running really good today, though.
Dave?
And Doc, talking to Pat Tryson, the crew chief, this morning, he said, we got a top 10 car for sure. We found some little things in final practice that might have helped us. But I thought the most interesting thing on their weekend was this was one of those cars that was running a very different track before it got here. Ran at Watkins Glen. Now they reclipped it, rebodied it. So it's really a different car. But, you know, just for the press line, it was pretty interesting. Watkins Glen car makes good at Dover.
It seems like they've done that a lot. I've heard of guys that took their Watkins Glen cars to Talladega to test it, and now they're bringing them here to run. So it's kind of funny that this car really has turned out to be very versatile, just like NASCAR planned for.
Like running a mule in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, you wouldn't have thought of that years ago, but now with the COT, they're all pretty much the same.
Well, they're really close to the same. In fact, they're close to the same now that the top 15 cars, I'm looking at our monitors, are running within a 1/10 of a second of each other. Very close again. And that's the reason on these restarts, you see these guys going for it, man. They want to get the positions because it's hard to get them now.
Here's somebody going for it right here. This is 15th spot. These guys are fighting for it. Robbie Gordon gets a good run off the corner. Just by Bobby Labonte in the 43. Brings Jeff Gordon with him.
Jeff Gordon again started back in 27th position. Kyle Busch started 22nd. These cars are 15th and 16th. More on Jeff Gordon. Mike?
Well, Doc, as we've seen throughout the course of 2007, Hendrick Motorsports has been the class of the field, really, when it comes to the car tomorrow. And Jeff Gordon is no exception. He's got 2 victories. But back in June, he said that was the one race where he felt like they really struggled with this race car. I talked with Steve Letarte this morning about that very subject, and he said the reason is the bank thinking here at Dover and at Bristol. He said it creates so much vertical load that's really throwing them a curveball with this race car and might be their only weakness with the COT.
Well, take a look at the 2-car, Kurt Busch. We might be saying that Hendrick Motorsports has got him covered, but Kurt Busch is saying, hey, don't forget about me. I'm looking pretty good, too. This number 2 Miller Lite Dodge, hey, he's got this thing rolling, man. Look at right on the bottom of the track. That's where you got to be.
This is the 13th race for the car of tomorrow. Chevy has won 10 of the 12, and Hendrick was won 6 of those 10, so they've been awfully good.
You know, it seems to me, guys, the only way you're going to pass around this racetrack with the car tomorrow is just change lanes. If the one guy's running the bottom, you better start working the top of that racetrack and find a way around him, because it's, other than that, you just can't get it done.
If somebody's sitting in your groove, you just got to make another one. I mean, you just can't sit there and follow him forever.
And we talked about aero. I mean, if you get up to his rear bumper and make him aerodynamically loose, that's one way to get him to wiggle out of the way.
Here comes Matt Kenseth now running down Denny Hamlin. Like I said, once he got us a little bit of clean air, he's able to run down the leader.
Denny Hamlin, as you saw at the top of our show, has the best average finish of all the 12 chase drivers here at Dover. He's only run here 3 times in the past, finishing 4th in the spring. And Hamlin has been good here, but Matt Kenseth has been awfully good here and is a former winner. More on Denny Hamlin with Dave.
And someone who has noticed that about Matt Kenseth right now, Doc, is the crew chief of the 11 car, Mike Ford. In fact, he radioed to his driver that 17 is going to be competition. Now, Denny's car just a little bit free on exit, still very fast, but he knows that Matt is coming.
Well, there's one thing for sure. The 17's definitely faster right now.
Denny Hamlin, who dominated the NASCAR Busch Series race here yesterday afternoon, leading 5 times for 138 laps. He has led the bulk of the laps here. He has led 1 time for 35 laps. You're watching ESPN on ABC. We welcome you back to the Monster Mile here in Dover, Delaware. New leader is Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. Kenseth, who started back in the 10th position. Here's what happened just a moment ago as Kenseth became the 3rd leader of the day.
Yeah, Matt just sails this thing in the corner right on the bottom, and Denny didn't challenge him at all. He said, hey, you've been catching me? Go ahead, man. So he just opened that bottom up. Matt took off, and I tell you, that's smart racing out of Denny Hamlin. He knows that Matt's got a faster car.
Okay, at this point in the race, how hard are you going to push it for this spot?
Well, right now, I don't want to. If I'm Denny Hamlin, I know I got a good car. I don't want to try to rough the guy up and maybe get him on my bumper and get me loose getting at the corner. And so that was very smart for Hamlin. He's led some laps now, got some bonus points. Just kind of slow down.
And the crew chief gets on the radio and reminds you, you've got 356 laps left.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking, how hard are you going to push this guy right here? And how about Carl Edwards? Here's another Roush car that's on the move.
Yeah, he got a good run. Got past Jimmy Johnson. 29 car Harvick got past Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy's back there holding on for dear life right now. This car's not handling too good. Mike, what you got going on down there?
Well, Rusty, I spoke with Carl Edwards before the race, and he said, if you could take one track and run that same track for all 10 races in the chase, it would be this one. He loves Dover. He loves being able to attack this racetrack, and he feels pretty good about his chances here this weekend. In first practice, he felt like he was the class of the field. Second practice, felt like people came and got a little bit closer, but still he feels like he's in contention this afternoon. Car's just a little bit tight. They're telling him to be patient, but of course the spotter's also telling him he's as fast as everybody else on the racetrack.
Well, Mike, you can totally understand all the confidence. This guy's won everything on every concrete track he's run this year, it seems like. So he's got to be one of the favorites for this race.
Edwards finished 5th here, I should say, in the spring race. Correct that, I was right the first time. He finished 3rd here in the spring race after starting 5th. He has been awfully good on the concrete. How about Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Here's the 8 car, and he is now being shown all the way up in 7th position, and he has a take-no-prisoners attitude on how he's getting. Reminds me a little bit of his dad here, getting aggressive on the concrete. Watch what happened a moment ago with he and Scott Riggs.
He's working over Scott Riggs pretty good. Whoa, I said, okay, I'll take that spot.
It almost looked like Scott Riggs was pulling down to let him have the outside, and he gave him a little rap in the back of that car. And he went right around outside of him.
No man would have said he was just rattling his cage a little bit.
That's right, man. Rattle this cat a little bit. Let's go.
Isn't that what he said about Terry Labonte at Bristol that year when he spun him there on the last lap or next to last lap?
Yeah, he rattled his cage good.